going on, everybody? Welcome back to Geek-Stew, and specifically welcome back to our Wednesday video. Today is supposed to be Control Over C Day, but it's also taking a little break for the new year, so there's no Control Over C podcast. I know I mentioned in the Monday video that there might be, but unfortunately here we are. Salster's had some other stuff to do. He's going to take a break until the new year, so you can expect a Control Over C podcast back on next Wednesday. And then we also hope to start streaming again on Sundays. But today, guys, we are still going to talk about something gaming related. So this is still going to be somewhat Control Over C gaming. But today, guys, we're actually going to be talking about my top 5 most anticipated games for 2021. So let's get right to it. My top 5 for the most anticipated games of 2021. Guys, so pretty straightforward, pretty easy. We're just going to talk about some games that I'm super excited for in the new year. Obviously, this will be coming out on Wednesday, which will be the day before New Year's Eve. So there are some great games that are coming out in 2021, let's be honest. 2020 has been such a shit year that we are so excited for 2021. We're cautiously optimistic, and honestly, I'm really excited for some of the games that are going to be coming out next year as well. So let's get into that. We're going to start from the bottom here. Not necessarily that I'm more excited. There are some games that I'm more excited for, so I'll kind of just mention that when I talk about it. But we're going to start with 5 games that I'm really excited for, and we're going to start kind of from the bottom, if you will. We're going to start with Gotham Knights. So, for people who don't know, Gotham Knights is a new Batman game. Specifically, Gotham Knights is a action role-playing video game based on the DC Comics character Batman and a supporting cast. The game is being developed by WB Games Montreal and is being published by Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment. So I have some high expectations for this game. It seems to be centered around Batman essentially just either dying or disappearing, and his league, if you will, of different characters and sidekicks will have to step in to take up the mantle of Batman, or fight for the cowl. There's a whole comic book series based on that. This is a really interesting concept. There's a lot of really great stuff that they can do for it. Gotham Knights will probably feature a lot of really cool superheroes, as well as some really great supervillains. So, I'm super excited for Gotham Knights. I'm always excited for a new Batman game, if I'm being honest. I always enjoy the Batman games. The Arkham series was really great. Now, from what I've heard, this game is not included in the Arkham series, which is kind of a letdown in my opinion, because sort of the introduction to the game in the trailer shows Wayne Manor exploding, which honestly would have been a perfect sequel from the previous Arkham game, Arkham Knight, which showed him activating the some sort of protocol. I can't remember which one it is, but he activates a protocol where basically he fakes his own death. He reveals himself as Batman, Bruce Wayne that is, fakes his own death, explodes Wayne Manor, and then bada bing, bada boom, you lead into this game. But apparently they're not part of the same series, as from what I've heard. Obviously right now we're still pretty early in that process where more information will come out as we come along. I don't see an anticipated date right off the bat here. It just says release date of 2021. So I don't think we've gotten quite a solidified day in which we're going to see this game. But irregardless, I'm excited. Let's move on to the next one. So the next game here we're going to be talking about is The Medium. So The Medium is an upcoming psychological horror video game developed by the Bloober team, scheduled for release on Microsoft Windows and the Xbox X and S series on January 20th, 2021. So this one's actually right around the corner, so we might be able to see some of this coming out soon. This is going to be really cool. So there's really, honestly, the game, from what I've heard, is going to have a very unique play style. There's like two different I guess, I don't want to say dimensions, but portions of reality that you play in. If I'm not mistaken, The Medium has something to do with in regards to the supernatural and everything else. But it's going to be, apparently, it's called a psychological horror game. So I haven't heard a whole lot about this, so I'm not going to speculate too much. But it looks very promising. The trailer looks really great. And honestly, it's right around the corner, so we won't have to wait too much longer for that. So, I'm always excited for a new horror game. It does suck that this doesn't seem to be released for the PlayStation. It seems to be a Microsoft /PC only release, which is fine. We'll be talking about another game that will be PlayStation only here in a minute. But, regardless, Medium looks really promising. I'm always down again for another horror game because you can never have too many. I feel like we've had a lot of the same franchises pumping out games for different horror series, which is fine. But, regardless of that, it's really great to see someone else step up to the plate and give us some new content. That being said, let's move on to number 3. So this next game, there's actually a lot of, there's a lot of, guesswork with this one. There's a lot of predictions and everything else. We honestly don't even technically know the name of the game itself. But right now, the working title for this game is for the God of War sequel, God of War Ragnarok. Currently is being developed by Santa Monica Studio and will be published for 2021, apparently for PlayStation 5. Now, not super stoked about it being a PlayStation 5 only game because I do have the PlayStation 4 and I do not anticipate getting the PlayStation 5 for some time. That being said, this game, I played the God of War game for the PlayStation 4. Honestly, I had never played any of the other games, and quite frankly, I really have no interest in playing any of the previous titles. The God of War game for the PlayStation 4 kind of talks about Norse mythology, and quite frankly, that is what really interests me more than anything else. So, not super stoked that this game is going to be only PlayStation 5. Obviously, that could just be some, rhetoric that's coming out now. And this is obviously before we really have any information about what the game's even about. I think for the trailer, there was like something that said Ragnarok is coming or something to that. So that's kind of where I think everybody's guessing that the name is going to be God of War Ragnarok. Regardless of that, I'm super excited for it. I hope it's not PlayStation 5. I hope there's also a backwards compatibility of some sort for PlayStation 4 players. But still super excited for it. God of War was really impressive to me. It had a lot of depth, great story, and honestly it was easy to pick up and play, at any difficulty in my opinion. I played it on a couple difficulties and it wasn't hard. Just had some different challenges to come along with it. That being said, let's move into number 2. Some more games that I'm super stoked for. So the next game that we're going to talk about, guys, is one that obviously I'm stoked for all of these, but these top 2 are probably the 2 games that I am most looking forward to in the new year. This one being Horizon Zero Dawn Forbidden West. Oh my lord, yes. Horizon Zero Dawn Forbidden West is scheduled for 2021. No established date yet. It's going to be for the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5. It is a PlayStation exclusive, just like the original game in the series. The Horizon Zero Dawn game, honestly, has been one of the few games in this entire world that I've 100%ed. I put a lot of hours into that game, so many hours. I literally could not stop playing it. Everything about that game was wonderful. The visuals, the gameplay, even the mechanics and the shooting and everything else. Everything about that game made me love it, right? I went through and I played it. I went back and did this, and I continued to play it over and over and over and over, and I never got tired of it. And I can't say that about a whole lot of games, but for Horizon Zero Dawn, 100%, it was an underdog in my opinion. I didn't expect it to be as great as it was, but when it was. It blew me away, completely blew me out of the water. I just absolutely loved it. That being said, super excited for that game to come out, but there's one more game that I'm even more excited about, and let's talk about that now. So if you couldn't guess, guys, last but certainly not least is Resident Evil 8. Yes, we are going to see Resident Evil 8 Village coming out in 2021. I'm so excited for Resident Evil Village. So for people who don't know, it's going to come out in 2021. It's an upcoming survival horror game developed and published by Capcom, and it'll be the 8th installment and a sequel to Resident Evil 7. That being said, I super duper love the Resident Evil series, and I am so excited for this, okay? This game is going to be a continuation of Resident Evil 7. I really loved Resident Evil 7. Resident Evil 7 was probably, in my opinion, honestly, it's probably the best modern Resident Evil game of original content. Not to say that the remakes weren't great. I think everybody at this point knows my opinions on Resident Evil 3. But at this juncture, Resident Evil 8 is going to be a breath of fresh air. It's going to be great. It's going to be amazing. And I'm going to love it no matter what happens. It has a really great, interesting design. It's bringing in some additional material. It's reaching into some other mythos. And I really think it's going to continue and push the stories onto greater and greater depths and lengths. So that's what I'm super excited for, is the fact that this game, honestly, in my opinion, is going to probably revamp the series to another level. The first person concept was, really thrived with Resident Evil 7, and I think Resident Evil 8 is going to do just as well, if not better. That being said, I am also cautiously optimistic because we haven't seen a whole lot of extra content with the most recent game, that being Resident Evil 3. So I'm hoping that, like they did with Resident Evil 7, that they do offer us more content. Resident Evil 7 had a lot of additional content with the game, right? You had Ethan Must Die. You had the Chris Redfield story. I can't remember. It was like Not a Hero. And you had a couple other stories with some of the other people from the video footage in the game. I believe it was the camera crew for that news station. And honestly, there was so much extra content with Resident Evil 7 that not only was the game worth replaying, but you could also go in and you could dive deeper into the legends and mythos of Resident Evil 7 with those side missions and side games. So that being said, that's probably my number one game right now. If I were to say I'm most excited for any singular game, it's Resident Evil Village, 100%. But enough of me rambling. We're going to move into final thoughts here about 2021 and new games for the new year. So final thoughts, guys. 2021 is going to be a great year. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed that this year is going to be great. Game-wise, the 5 games that we talked about today are some pretty highly anticipated video games, I feel like, overall. Some of these games I've played sequels, and some of these games I've never played anything to do with them at all. So overall, I'm super excited for it. I think that we have a really promising year for video games, and as well, I think this is going to be a promising year just in general for everybody. I hope the year goes smoothly for most people, and I think that, fingers crossed, we'll start and finish without any other crazy stuff happening. But that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. I know this is probably just a kind of a quick, moving video of me just talking about different games that I'm excited for. But, I really wanted to talk about this. I really wanted to still make a video for you guys today. And with the new year coming up, I really just wanted to push out there some stuff about what's going to happen in the new year. Definitely, I'm super excited about all these amazing games, and me and Salsa may even still talk about this next Wednesday, with the new year happening. I'll talk to him a little bit about, what he wants to do, but we'll probably talk about, again, some more anticipated games for the new year, but these are just my top 5. But that being said, hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did enjoy, give us a like, give us a subscribe, comment section down below, leave us a note of what you liked and what you didn't. If you want to follow us on social media, the social medias are at the end of the video and in the description below. Feel free to follow us on Twitter and Facebook, and my Twitter is also down there if you'd like to hit me up. Otherwise, if you guys want to join the Geek-Stew team, let us know. Hit us up on Facebook or on Twitter, or if you want to hit us up here in the comment section of YouTube, feel free to do so as well. But as always, guys, stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe, and stay awesome. We will see you in the next one.